Hey there. Today I'm going to talk about something that people may have a differing opinion on. In the NFL, a common trend among players is to hold out during training camp for a new or better contract with their current team. Notable players that are in such a holdout in this offseason are Ezekiel Elliott, Melvin Gordon, and Jadeveon Clowney. Elliott is entering the fourth year of his rookie contract, Gordon entering the fifth year of his rookie contract, and Jadeveon Clowney is refusing to sign his franchise tag for a one-year contract. The two running backs are set to make a few $1,000,000 each, and Clowney is set to make between $15.5 and $17 million this year. Elliott wants a contract extension with a signing bonus so he can have more walking around money and job security, as does Gordon and Clowney. I do not blame them for wanting more money for their future. What I do blame them for is their tactic for trying to get it. Holding out in the NFL is the go-to move to get what you want. Whether it's a new contract or to be traded to a new team, you see players holding out in mini camps, training camp, preseason games, as well as regular season games. The most recent work of this was Le'Veon Bell holding out all of last year to then be signed by the New York Jets in the offseason. Let's take a look at other players who have held out due to contract issues. Darrelle Revis, formerly known as Revis Island, back in 2010, decided it was time for a holdout as he felt he was not being paid enough for his services. During his holdout, he missed majority of training camp as well as 4 preseason games. Once he received his new contract of 4 years worth $32 million, he returned and was ready for week 1 of the NFL's regular season. At least that's what he wanted everyone to believe. During the second game of that season against the New England Patriots, Darrelle Revis got beat on a deep ball and came up lame. He strained his hamstring and missed the following 2 games as well as one more during the season. Due to his injury, he was not the same player that the New York Jets came to love. I believe it is because of his holdout and not working out within the team facility and having the full utilization of the training staff to assist him during training camp. Players in holdouts say that they are working out and keeping their body in shape, but working out on your own and working out with your team with a competent training staff are 2 different things. Another player that comes to mind is Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa was a highly touted edge rusher out of Ohio State. During the 2016 draft, he was selected 3rd overall by the San Diego Chargers. He, however, was the last first-round draft pick to sign over a contract dispute about how much money he'd receive upon signing his contract. With this holdout lasting throughout training camp and all of the preseason games, he suffered a hamstring injury upon his return that cost him the first 4 games of the regular season. Point being, if you show up during the beginning of training camp, are under the supervision of a trained medical staff, and do what your strength and conditioning coach says, you're less likely to be injured during training camp than working out on your own as you're in the middle of a holdout. Now, I'm not saying that injuries do not happen during training camp. Those do happen, and it's unfortunate when it happens. But it becomes more magnified when it happens to a player who is holding out from their team for a better contract because they thought they were more important in the game. That's what it comes down to. The players who decide they want to hold out for a new contract forget that they're being paid to play a game, which is their job. Imagine being at work, wanting more money for what you're required to do, and not showing up is a sign that you want a bigger payday. Your manager would replace you as soon as they could, no questions asked. That's the same process that GMs are doing when a player doesn't show. Their team isn't sitting around just waiting for them to show up. They're working business as usual, with the next guy up who will take all of their snaps and get more acclimated with their teammates on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. There are far too many players to list that ended the season in the final year of their contract and did all the work anyway. They don't hold out and they don't cause a scene for their team. They show up, do their job, and get paid in free agency because of it. NFL players need to check their attitudes at the door, show up, do their job, and let the business side handle itself once the season's over. If the current holdout trend continues, in my opinion, you'll see more players stop showing up during training camp, forcing the hand of their team to sign or trade them. Then when that player finally shows up, they'll probably get hurt, effectively hurting your team during the offseason and regular season because of it. Until next time, I'm Kevin Householder.